What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Back at you once again. So it was a historic day today with the market, with SpaceX, the initial public offering, right? Made a historic initial public offering, hit the $2 trillion mark. The value of the stock starting out was 135, right? $135 for one share of the stock. It got up all the way to 176.27, all the way up to 176.27, and it finished the day off at 161. Some people talking about 160 and some change. We're just gonna say 161. All right. But this is what I want to talk to you guys about. Right? I talked in April about don't be April's fool with your finances. I talked in May about May momentum, right? Gonna talk in June, like I've been talking in June. Gonna talk in June about mid-year money reset. Your mid-year money reset. That's a perfect example of a mid-year money reset. Right? A lot of people put their money in SpaceX because they wanted to get those gains that was happening with SpaceX. I get it. I might have put some money in SpaceX too. Who knows? Or I might wait to see what the market is going to do, if it's going to correct itself, and if the price of the shares go down, go up, whatever. We're going to see what it does, right? But think about this. What if there was a product out there when the SpaceX stock, the initial public offering, the price of it got to that 176.27, which was the high? What if it got to that 176.27 and it never suffered any losses like it did today? It got to 176 and it stayed exactly where it's at, right? Because it got to 168 and then it did a little dip to 158. Then it shot back up to 176. Then it did this little ebbs and flows of losing, gaining, until it got to 161 or so. All right, but what if there's a product? You see right over my head that question mark? What if there's a product out there? And I'm just showing this for illustration's sake. All right. What if there was something out there that could mirror what the market is doing? That could mirror the market. You're not going to get the exact gains of the market, but just for illustration's sake, I want y'all guys to understand what I'm saying. What if you can make you're not going to make the high gains that the market did. They did like 30%, 24% jumps, right? Because we're going from the 135. They did like 24%, 30% gains on that 135 initial public offering when it started off. But what about if you had a stock or mirrored a stock, and when it got to that 176, you didn't have to worry about losing anything? You didn't have to worry about losing anything tied to the market. No losses tied to the market. No losses due to the market. Okay? With this over here, this was the NASDAQ. That's where it was at. You're going to get your gains, which we saw, and you're going to get your losses. That's inevitable. That's how it's going to happen. Okay? But what if you had a product where you had the gains up to a certain percentage, right? You only get them up to a certain percentage because you have no losses due to the market. So for instance, let's just say with SpaceX, it got up to that 168.56 and then it started to nosedive a little bit. Well, when we at that 168.56, it's not going to go down. It's going to stay even. It's going to stay even. It's not going to lose anything due to the market. And then once the market starts to go back up, like over here where it needs to go back up, over here, it's just going to go up from where we left off at. It's going to go up from where we left off at and go up to 176.27, for instance, right? Because the product I'm talking about doesn't have the same gains as the market. But for instance, I want y'all to understand this. It goes up to a certain point, but when the market starts to dip again, it does not lose anything. So if I don't lose anything and the highest that the index or whatever reached was 176.27, that's where I stay at. 176.27. I don't have to worry about no losses with the market. If there was something out there, right? Would you want to put a portion of your retirement in an account like that where you have gains, potential gains, but no losses due to the market? Okay, a lot of people want to put their money in the stocks, NASDAQ and S&P 500, right? They want to put their money in there because they want those access to those gains. Nobody wants access to losses. Nobody wants to lose anything. They want access to those gains. But what if you have access to gains, not as high as the market, right? You have access to the gains, but none of the losses due to the market. Would you want to put your money, part of your money, to make sure when your retirement came around, you had at least that nest egg set aside for your retirement? If you want to learn more about this, you reach out to myself and my wife. legendarylegacygroup.com is the website. The email, legendarylegacygroup, LLG@gmail.com. That's the best one to reach us at. The business email, sometimes things get a little crazy with that one. Reach out to that Gmail. Everything comes to Gmail. We already know that. legendarylegacygroup, LLG@gmail.com. I did a video talking about the Social Security, and I'm going to put that out so you guys can see about Social Security, where these seniors are going to be suffering in 2032. So if you're somebody that has a senior, has a parent, grandparent, they're going to be losing some money. Some money going to stop unless Congress gets some votes to make some new regulations and some new laws. Seniors are going to be hit when they should be enjoying their retirement. They're about to be hit. But like I said, I did a video on that. I'm going to put that out. Y'all can watch that. Guys, like I said, you want to learn more about this question mark, which is out there. I've talked about it on my YouTube, TikTok channel. My wife and my YouTube, TikTok channel already. Instagram, Facebook. Guys, repost this, share it, like it, do everything you do on social media. Like I always say, you guys have a great rest of your day or your night, wherever you're at. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your month. Have a great rest of your year. Have a great rest of your life, because you deserve it. We all do. Talk to you soon. Bye.